Hello, vlog watchers, and welcome to another episode of my story, where I tell my life story. For some crazy reason, I air it all out on YouTube. And yeah, it's just a false story of the life that I lived. It's not completely real. Memories, they fade and they blend and they twist and they turn. So they do what they do. But yeah, so I think that telling my story is a lot like cognitive CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, cognitive therapy. Don't get me talking, I don't know. Anyway, I think that telling my story is very therapeutic for me, and so I'm grateful that I've done this, and future generations from my line will be able to see me. So that's kind of crazy, like to think that I could see my great grandmother on YouTube. That's crazy. But I don't even know if YouTube will be around back by then. Who knows? So whatever. They say the internet's forever, but I've seen things go away. So, but it could be forever on the internet. So, anyways, okay. So I guess I tried to delay, and I don't know why, because I want to get this over with. So I should just tell the story. So yeah, we moved into our home, the one that we're in now, and but see, right before that happened, though, like a couple months before that happened, it was really, really harsh. And I really did feel like we were cursed. I had felt like we were cursed, and I was seeking answers. And I was like, like I said, I was watching preaching on YouTube all the time and always reading my Bible, in depth in my Bible. And I was begging to just be normal and be able to give my kids something that is worthwhile. Living in this world should be worthwhile. It should be for everyone. And so I felt, I don't know, I felt cursed. I really felt cursed. And I was seeking answers, and I ran across, like, the thing about this is as a as a child, whenever I read the Bible, the book of Revelations really called to me, and I really felt it. And I remember asking my aunt, why hasn't Jesus come back? And she said, because, first of all, Jesus is going to come back whenever he wants to, not whenever we want him to. And second of all, we haven't done our job. We haven't spread the word all the way around the world. And I remember for some reason, whenever she told me that, I had this knowing of, oh, I'll be here for it, but you won't. I don't know why. So I've always looked for, when she's gone, then I know that it's near, kind of thing. I just always had this, I guess, in my subconscious, like these beliefs, they'll run deep. They run deep. And yeah, at this time, I really was into prophecy. Now, before this time, what I replaced prophecy with was conspiracy theory. I was way into conspiracy theory. I know, like, all the conspiracy theories, all the rabbit holes, and I don't know if they're all real, but there's some things that are really scary, and you hope and pray that stuff that dark is only things that people thought of. If you know the way things work in spiritual evolution, then it doesn't stay in thought form. And if they're already speaking it forward, it's there was a TV show inside a TV show that I watched as a little girl on a channel I shouldn't have been watching. Daria, there's this TV show, Sick Sad World. I mean, this can be a sick, sad world. It really can be, if digging into the conspiracy theories. And then I replaced that because I have this deep need to learn, this deep, deep seated need to learn. And I replaced that need to learn conspiracy theories into a need to learn prophecies. And I have no desire to be a prophet or a prophetess at all. I have no desire for that, even though you're like, well, you're trying to prophesize things. I guess I am. I want to prophesy good things, though, if I'm gonna prophesy. But I also, in the Bible, I've read all the Bibles, all the books and stuff, and Jeremiah talks about the prophet that will only tickle your ears and tell you all the good stuff and not be real with you. Like a real prophet will be real with you and will love you. And that kind of leads into what I hope we get to talk about today by the end. We'll get there. But yeah, you tell the truth. If you know that someone is gonna get ran over, you try to prevent that. It's not loving to be like, oh yeah, it's cool, just do what you want, and let them get ran over. So, yeah, I was really looking into prophecies and especially end time prophecies, which there is no shortage of end time prophecies on the internet. If you want to learn end time prophecies, you can learn it for the next century. So, yeah, it's going to take a couple lifetimes to learn all those, but I dug deep, and I had my BFF Jesus right beside me and helping me through, and I did run into a modern day prophet, and I really, really, really believed him. And the reason why I really believed him is because about the time he was talking about the time that I ran across him, I had a dream in the bed in hell, in the hell place, and it was like everything was on fire. It was on fire everywhere, and there was like singed paper coming down, and people were like gathering it up, and they were trying to put it together and to make it back into a book, and like everything's on fire. And I look and to see what the papers are, and I was like, that's my father's book. And then my husband was there, and everything was on fire, and I just grabbed his hand, and I was like, we prepared for this. And he was like, yeah. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was like, whoa. And then right after I woke up, my husband woke up, and he goes, fire. And I was like, what? Because I have dreams all the time. I have all kinds of crazy dreams. Like, I would analyze that dream anyway. And he goes, there was fire in my dream. And he goes, and you were there, and we were holding hands. I was like, okay. So it was so real. And then this prophet said something that tied into that. And so I misinterpreted. It's important. I didn't know that I misinterpreted him, but I did. And it's important that I know that distinction now, because that lets you know that I did go and reevaluate and figure it out. I don't think everybody does that, because we'll follow prophets. There's a point where you don't follow them no more. They're obviously under a false deceptive spirit. And once you are clear that a prophet's under a false deceptive spirit, it's now your responsibility to not follow them. And to be aware of that, and then to look at where did they get you? Where did you let your shield down so that a false deceptive spirit can get you, so that next time one comes, they can't get you? And we continue that process. Like in most of my descriptions, I will put, remember, scammer's gonna scam, because scammers are gonna scam. I can't control that. I know people that have gotten readings from Mystic Hillbilly at times whenever I wasn't doing readings at all. And they'll be like, or they'll be like, I paid for it, where's my reading? Where's my reading? I paid for it, where's my reading? You never paid me. scammers are gonna scam, and I can't control that. They're gonna use, anytime you put yourself out there, they're gonna use it. Any reader that's out there, they're gonna use it against them. It is our job. This is the age. This is the time. It is our job to develop our discernment. And one of the ways that we develop our discernment is by fumbling and getting it wrong. And yeah, I got it wrong because in his prophecies, it's already over by now. Because back then he was like, 2012 will be it, but that's not where we were at 2018. But yeah, he definitely got it wrong. And I felt so strong in my spirit that he was right. And I had told some of my loved ones, I was like, gotta watch out, here it comes. Like, he has a book, and I bought his book, and it had like meteors are gonna come, and at a certain time, he was like, you're setting yourself up for failure, first off, if you're gonna like really timestamp everything. But yeah, so the fact that it didn't turn out like he said, it really was a blow to my self-esteem and what I felt was connection to spirit and my own intuition. It was hard to deal with. And then right before we were going to move in, I dealt with that, and I reconnected, and I found this other guy who kept talking about the Maseroth, Rav Shaul. And this guy is a character, and I love him with all my heart. I don't agree with all of his stuff, so because he would not condone me. He would not condone the Mystic Hillbilly. I think that he would condemn the Mystic Hillbilly and the things that I do on this channel. He doesn't like horoscopes at all, but I've dove deep enough into it to learn the math of the stars, and I know that that's all that I'm doing is reading the math of the stars at this point. And yeah, the math gets to say what it says. It's always said it to me since I was a kid, so I don't think that he has, for him, the Maseroth and the path that the sun takes is like the reader of the Maseroth. And I don't think that he said this, but I believe this because nobody knows where we got the zodiac from. I think it's from God. I think God told Adam a story and said, here, you always follow the path of the sun to be able to read the story. Whenever you get to this point, you're at the virgin. Whenever you get to this point, you're at justice. Whenever you get to this point, you're at the stinger where, the trials come. Whenever you're at this point, you're at the point where you're making a plan. At this point, you're starting to execute that plan, and it goes all the way around. I think God told Adam the story of the zodiac, the story of the Maseroth, and I bought all of Rav Shaul's books. I love the whole Rav Shaul community, everybody with them. I might leave a link to his video under this one but he would not condone what I do. I want to make that clear. He is a Nazarene, and they're a beautiful community. I am not a Nazarene. So, but at this time, I was following Rav Shaul, and Rav Shaul talks about how all the religions, all the holidays are pagan. They're all pagan. And I agree. I so agree because, I practiced paganism and I practiced Christianity, and the pagan and the Christian way that they celebrate their holidays are parallel. They're the same dang thing. Paganism is Christianity. There's no doubt about that. The old pagan ways it's Christianity. It just got converted into Christianity. And there's a different paganism that's modern paganism that they put this hippie twist on it, which is beautiful, beautiful. I love them too. I love I followed their ways, and there is a difference, but it's very parallel. It's very much the same. So it wasn't hard for Rav Shaul to convince me that Christian holidays are pagan. Now here's the thing that Rav Shaul did do that blew my mind. he showed me, and I've read the Bible. I've read the Bible many, many times. I'm not gonna lie. And you can read any book many times and get new insights from it because the Word is alive. So he pointed out that according to the Christians, the Old Testament God is the New Testament God. They're the same God, and they've always been the same, and they'll always be the same. And he pointed out that in the Old Testament, the God said, "Do not worship me like the pagans worship their gods." And I thought about it. There's like this whole war on Christmas, and I've always wondered like why. And my family would tell me the reason why is we've got to take Christmas back for Jesus because it's his birthday. So we got to take it back for Jesus. And then I learned the God that Jesus served says he doesn't want you to ever take anything back for him in that way. He doesn't want to be worshipped like they worshiped their gods. They worshiped their god Mithra in this way. They worshiped other gods in this way. He doesn't want that. And then Rabshal teaches about the actual holy days of the Bible, which are different, and they're prepared different, and they're done differently. And I was just like mind blown, and I think that I advocated earlier on an earlier my story message about how experiential knowledge, like I've always thought experiential knowledge is superior, so you really don't know what it's like to live the biblical holy days until you've walked the walk of living the biblical holy days, right? So I really wanted to do this, but I understood that I couldn't like force my family, and if they didn't want to do it, I'd have to find another way. So I sat my kids down and I discussed with them about this stuff. And the thing about it is, at this time, my kids were always severely bullied at school because the head lice stuff, and I would keep like rosemary in their hair and eucalyptus and all kinds of essential oils just in their hair to hopefully want to keep head lice away from them. But we had it for years and years and years. And they got bullied, and they also had a church group that they went to. And my oldest daughter, had developed her boobs, and they had like all the girls had these like shorts. They weren't bikinis, but it was like a tank top and shorts. And the church pulled my oldest daughter to the side and was like, "You need to be careful about, showing things because you're growing older and stuff." And my daughter just had a visceral reaction to this. And so at the time that and there was other things going on in the church too, like I don't know, there was just religious abuse that I didn't know was going on, like the church Sunday school leader would be like, if you don't do this, then you're going to go to hell, or Jesus won't love you, and stuff like that. It was just awful. And so my girls were falling away from the church, and I was showing them in the Bible how God doesn't want to be served in the pagan ways, and how obviously the church serves God in the pagan ways, like all of the churches. Like I can point out all the paganism in all the churches at this point. And they're taking it back for God, I guess. God that doesn't want it. I don't know. It's so confusing. It really is confusing. But my daughters, I didn't think that they would be on board. I really didn't. Because it was like right before the holiday season. And I told them that. I was like, this means that we're not going to do Halloween. We're not going to do, we'll do Thanksgiving. Because I don't know. I don't think it's just Thanksgiving. It's a country holiday, I guess. I don't know. And then, I don't know. Because we're learning this stuff, and we weren't going to do Christmas. And I told them, I said, if we're not going to do Christmas, I can get you a gift all year long. And I have since then. I've gotten them a gift whenever I feel like it, and I give it to them, and it makes me feel good. But they agreed. They agreed not to do holidays and to move into doing God's holy days, which is Passover and Sukkot, and um, there's one in June. Oh goodness, I can't remember. But it's nice to lay low at Christmas time too. But I don't stick to it forever. But whenever we moved into our place, it was right before Halloween night, and the girls, we did not do Halloween that year. And it was weird, but we were in our new place and it was exciting. So, yeah. And we move in here, and that next spring, because we moved in here at Halloween time, and then the next spring we celebrated our first Passover. And so far, every year that we've lived here, we've had a Passover celebration. Not like the Jews do. And that's another thing I learned. The Jews, if you look at their holidays, they're all the biblical holidays. They follow them all, which makes sense because, I mean, isn't their God the Old Testament God? Which, I mean, the Jewish religion was the hardest one for me to learn. It took forever. I had to meet Jews and have them explain to me because it's not one that's out there like the others are. So, yeah, whenever we moved in here, it felt like a fresh start, and it was really cool. Now, whenever we moved in here, Zach has started paying child support again, and he was paying some of his back child support off too. So he was paying $400 a month, or at least that's what I was receiving. I don't know how much he was paying, but it felt like quite a bit for me, and it made me nervous because I felt like because he doesn't always do it, and so I wanted to find a better way to deal with the money, and so I looked into investing into the stock market, and I really studied that because I had the fear of when the child support is going to stop, because in my mind, we're going to, he doesn't know this, but we're going to start going after more criminal charges, and if he goes to jail, I won't get no child support. Which, I mean, who wants child support from someone in jail anyway? And who wants child support from him anyway? I really didn't. And so I decided to learn about the stock market and learn about investing and putting your money into CDs and stuff like that, so that it's just put away and I don't have to worry about it. I'm really grateful that I did that. I really am. So I knew whenever we started getting checks that we would be seeing him pretty soon. And, we were advised to keep him away. And one day he did. He showed up. And I thank God the girls were not here. They weren't even here. I was cleaning the house and I had music playing. And Dave met him outside with a gun and told him to leave his property and not to come back. He called the cops and let him know, hey, this guy's on my property. I'm telling him to leave. He needs to leave right now. And he would just park down the road from us for a while. And it was kind of scary. But court was coming up. And we went ahead with the cops. And the cops told us that we should get no contact order so that it's all legit. And so I went and I filed for a no contact order. And when they asked us why, I told them why, and they asked if they could talk to our kids, and they did. And I also gave them our kids' counselor's name. And yeah, we'll get to that part on the next one. But what I do want to say, if I'm going to leave it here, because you know that I'm gonna start all over on the next one. The timing, it's so confusing, Things get better. Things get better. They continue to get better. And they will continue to get better. So, fairness might not be a thing. It might not be real. But harmony can be real, and it can be achieved. And beauty and grace and love and joy are worth living for. So thank you guys so much for watching today. Thank you for making it to the end of my story this day. And I pray that you are all blessed with love. That's all. Wait a minute. No, that's not all she got. She got a little bit to say just here at the end. So hold on, folks. I just want to say really, really quick, I've got an exciting opportunity to share with you. As a student and a content creator, I pour my heart and my soul into each and every video. And I absolutely love bringing you all along on my crazy adventures. But creating quality content requires a lot of time, effort, and resources. But that's where you can come in. If you enjoy my videos and want to share your support, I've set up a few ways for you to contribute and become an even more integral part of the Mystic Hillbilly community. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me to continue doing what I love most. First of all, I have a few donation options available to you. If you'd like to make a one-time contribution, you can find the links to my Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal in the video descriptions. And every single donation, no matter how big or small, truly makes a difference and allows me to create even more exciting content for you all. But wait, there's more. I'm thrilled to introduce to you my Patreon membership, where for only $5.55 a month, you can gain access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content and outtakes from all my videos. As a Patreon supporter, you'll get to see all the edits and behind-the-scenes bloopers that didn't make it in the final cut. It's like having a VIP pass to the Mystic Hillbilly editing room. This is really something special for all my haters out there. As a member, you'll gain access to hours of footage of me making mistakes, doing everything wrong, and just having an all-around hilarious time. So, haters, if you ever want to see me in my most human, this is your golden opportunity. So, whether you choose to become a member or make a donation, know that your support is deeply appreciated. I genuinely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this amazing journey with me. Your positive energy and contributions mean everything to me. Before I go, I just want to take a moment to say that I pray that every blessing sent my way is multiplied and returned to the sender tenfold. May success find their way into your lives as you've brought them into mine. Thank you all so much for your support, and until next time, stay adventurous, stay curious, and always remember to keep the mystic in you alive. And now, that's all she got.